Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Troilus Gold channel, advancing significant precious metal projects in the prolific mining district of Quebec. We're always having the pleasure to be joined by the Chief Executive Officer today, Justin Reid. Welcome back, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm living the dream as always, and it's a pleasure to get you back on. I really want to dive down into some of the financials today, kind of get a clear view of where we're moving in these tumultuous times. So first and foremost, you guys are sitting on about 36 million in assets, of which 20 million is cash against 12 million in liabilities. Do you want to give us just kind of a clear view of how that cash spend kind of looks moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's a great time to talk about it because this market is absolutely under pressure, to say the least. And a big focus isn't always on how you're advancing the asset or what your asset is. It's, do you have enough money to keep going? Because obviously the markets are tight right now. Our cash balance is strong. We're just under $20 million. Our burn is about $2.2 million a month, and it's actually decreasing. The larger burn, if you will, is a result of having multiple drills on site, drilling out that resource and that reserve for the feasibility study, or pre-feasibility study. Exploration still underway. We are still drilling, but we have a lot of runway ahead of us, if you will, and we have a lot of major catalysts that we've spoken about before to deliver with the cash that we have. We have a lot of options as well for non-dilutive financing going forward, because we did buy back our royalty in November of 2020, so our asset is unencumbered. We have a completely unencumbered copper resource, which is separate from our gold and silver stream. So lots of optionality for alternative financing should we require it.
Okay, so before we kind of talk more about cap structure and those shares outstanding, what should investors kind of focus on? I know we've talked about some of the catalysts in the past, but what would you reiterate or just say, hey, coming up in the next 6 months, this is probably some of the important things you should pay attention to?
Three things. Pre-feasibility is going to be out very shortly. New resource, which is going to incorporate about 150,000 meters of additional drilling. Our last resource in September of 2020 was 8.1 million ounces. A couple things there. It involved, or it included a large underground resource. We're not going to include the underground in our pre-feasibility. It's going to be all open pit. We are going to we're going to put out our inaugural reserve. And there's a big difference between inferred and reserve. Reserve is what you can actually exploit today. A high degree of confidence. We spent a lot of money infilling. So it's going to be an absolutely solid resource of exploitable metal. And then thirdly, exploration. We're drilling the gap zone between 87 and Southwest. And we have 6 crews out every day exploring our 1,400 square kilometer belt. So we're going to be very newsy on the exploration front as we deliver the 2 major catalysts.
Okay, and that's really insightful. I appreciate that. And then finally, can you just kind of give some insight on the insider versus institutional and retail ownership within that current cap structure?
Sure, 200 million shares out, 10%, just under 10% is management and insiders, of which I'm the largest. I own about 3% of the company. 20% of the company is what we call Quebec Inc. So that's the Quebec government-based institutions. That's Investissement Quebec, that's the CASE, that's FTQ, Fonds Solitaire de Quebec, Este James Bay, and SIDEX. These are the big government-sanctioned pension funds that are there to help you build the mine moving forward. And then we are in total about 65% institutionally held. Majority are long-term value, with our single largest shareholder being Franklin Gold Fund out of San Francisco, and then probably about 20% retail after that.
Okay, I think that was incredibly fruitful, kind of just giving insight on the broad view during these tumultuous times. So on that note, Justin, I'm going to pass the question off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you guys think about all this in that comment section below. Consider subscribing, because as these catalysts and news hit the wire, we're going to update you here. But on that, stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.